Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Say that Israel wants to attack Iran because Israel ultimately wants to rule the world. Because the Zionists want to rule the world. Because the Judeo-Christian Zionist European Alliance wants to deliver to the state of Israel the status of ruling state in the world. That's why we believe all these wars are taking place. But why does Israel want to rule the world? They said some 50, 60 years ago, and even then they were telling monstrous lies. So 9/11 was not the first lie. They said that all that we want to do is to create a Jewish homeland in the Holy Land where Jews can live in safety and security. That's all we want to do. And we say that was a monstrous lie. What you wanted to do was to establish a Zionist state in the Holy Land, which would seek to impersonate Holy Israel, the holy state of Israel, that was established by Nabi Dawood, alayhi salam, the Prophet David, and Nabi Sulaiman, alayhi salam, the Prophet Solomon, and that this Zionist state of Israel would one day rule the world. That's what you wanted to do. And you want Israel to rule the world so that one day, not too long from now incidentally, a man would stand up in Israel. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam described that man to us 1400 years ago or more. So if you're listening in Washington tonight, let's tell you what the Prophet said. And if you're listening in London and in Jerusalem tonight, let's tell you what Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam said. He said that that man would be a Jew. He would be a young man. And so the end of history will witness young people taking over the world. He would be a powerfully built man. He would have curly hair. And he would declare, I am the Messiah. But that would be a lie. The Messiah is the son of Mary. Sorry, more than that. He was the son of the Virgin Mary. There's only one virgin in the world who ever gave birth to a son and still remained a virgin. And that was Jesus, Nabi Isa alayhi salam. He is the Messiah. Muslims believe that. And most Christians believe that. I don't know whether the Zionist Christians also believe that. Somebody should ask them. He is the Messiah. And one day he's coming back, said Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Whether Washington believes that or not is irrelevant. One day he's going to come back, said Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And when he comes back, he's going to rule the world from Jerusalem. That is in the hadith, because he would be Hakimul Adil, a ruler who will rule on the basis of justice. Those who today rule the world do so with injustice. That's why they want this Israel to rule the world. Because that man who says, I am the Messiah, would not be the son of the Virgin Mary. No, said Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he would be al-Masih Dajjal, the false Messiah, the Antichrist. Every Muslim knows about him. Most Christians know about him. I don't know about the Zionist Christians. And so lots of people know this subject. And that moment when that man is going to rule the world from Jerusalem appears to me to be around the corner. Maybe 20 years, maybe 30 years. And so this is why they want to attack Iran. As soon as Israel attacks Iran, and my opinion is that Israel is not going to attempt to deliver a knockout blow. Israel will attack Iran in order to commence wars that she hopes will follow one after the other. As soon as Israel attacks Iran, the first implication is that Iran is going to attack Iraq. And Iran is strategically poised, advantageously poised to attack the United States in Iraq. As soon as Iran is attacked, Shias around the world are going to respond with solidarity with Iran. And that includes the majority population of Iraq, which is Shia. What about the Sunni in Iraq? The Sunnis are waging a war against the United States. They want to get the United States out of Iraq. And if Iran attacks Iraq, the Sunnis are going to also intensify their attacks on the United States. And so the United States is going to be in a no-win situation in Iraq. You'll be facing enemies fighting you on all sides with no friends around you. None. I don't think, and I hope and pray, I don't think that NATO will succeed in getting the Turkish government to act so stupidly to attack Iran. I don't think it's going to happen. No. And let us pray that the Turkish government is not ruled by fools. And so NATO and the United States in particular are going to be faced with war in Iraq that they cannot win. And they can lose. They can lose. And this is what Israel wants. This is what Israel wants. But there's another battlefront I want to turn to now. And this is where we need our military analysts. I wish we had some here tonight. That Iran is also likely to attack Bahrain. And it should not be difficult for Iran to take Bahrain. Bahrain cannot stand up to an attack from Iran. Bahrain is just across the water from Iran. I am suggesting to you that Iran is going to attack and take Bahrain. And if and when Iran attacks and takes Bahrain, then there's a causeway between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia where you could drive back and forth. The road will be clear to Saudi Arabia. I am anticipating, and the Saudis probably already have their plans laid out very well, because they know what's going to happen. and Israel already knows what's going to happen, that they're then going to turn to the United States to invoke whatever secret agreements they have of defense, that the United States has to intervene in Saudi Arabia to protect Saudi Arabia from an attack from Iran. I think the Zionists in the US Congress will ensure, even though the US armed forces would not want to go in there, the Zionists in the US Congress will ensure that American forces will have to enter into Saudi Arabia to face Iran. I'm also suspecting that they might do the same thing with Pakistan, to force the Pakistani political leadership and military leadership to follow some secret agreement they probably already have, to bring Pakistani troops into Saudi Arabia to face Iran. If that happens, number one consequence will be the United States will be facing two fronts where they're going to lose the war. The first front will be Iraq, and the second front will be Saudi Arabia. And Pakistan will be facing defeat in Saudi Arabia and civil war in Pakistan. In order to save the United States from defeat, Israel will have to intervene. And so history will repeat itself for those who have been reading Jerusalem in the Quran. In order for the passage from Pax Britannica to Pax Americana to take place, do you remember? The First World War had to take place. And in the First World War, the Germans brought in their submarines. And Britain, the island, was marooned, surrounded by German submarines. And Britain would have lost the war. And at that critical moment, the Zionists then brought the United States into the war, despite the efforts of men like Henry Ford. And when the United States entered into the war, then Britain was saved from defeat. But the consequence of that was that Britain was no longer the ruling state in the world. And the transfer of power from Britain to the United States was well on the way as a consequence of that First World War. So I am suggesting to you that the planning that is now taking place is a repeat of what happened then. That they're setting a trap for the United States, so that the United States is going to be led to a situation where it's going to be facing defeat in Iraq and in Saudi Arabia. These are my opinions, you don't have to accept them. And only one power in that region could intervene to save the United States from defeat, and that is Israel. And that would be the bell being rung. That this is the passage of power now from Pax Americana to Pax